everyone, I am back with the YouTube Pagan challenge, and I think it's weeks 27, 28, and 29 now. So I'm just catching up a little bit. The first question was, what do you use astrology in your practice? And yes, I do, because I love astrology, as you know. So I look at things like, I obviously follow the moon cycles. I use, new moon, full moon. If I'm looking to boost a spell, I'll use the quarter moon, and I use the dark moon time for letting go or releasing things, and also for protection. So I do follow the moon, and I do look at what sign the moon is in to kind of get an idea of the energies, like is it earthy energy, is it water, is it fire, that kind of thing. And I make sure the moon's not in void unless it's like dark moon, which it doesn't matter. So I do mostly pay attention to the lunar as far as what's going on in my practice. Now, there's some people who can get quite specific about what hour to do spells on based on kind of what's going on in the sky, and there's also this thing called, you can calculate what hours are associated with what planet on each day. I think that's getting a little too complicated. That's a bit much for me. I just like to look at, okay, like for example, the moon, this new moon, past new moon, the moon was in Leo. So to me, that's fiery energy, that's colors like yellow and orange. It's definitely a good time for spells involving creativity. I look too at where the moon is as far as where it is in my chart to know what area it's affecting. So that might be an area I want to work on, whether it's career or personal or romantic. So I use things like that, but I don't want to make it too complicated, because you make it really complicated, and I think that's just too much. So I do use it, and I do follow astrology. Like every day I look at my astrology for my chart. And then I also look at kind of generally what's going on in the world, just to kind of give me an idea of the energies. It doesn't always mean I'm going to change things, but it does, I like to, it's kind of like knowing what the weather is like outside. If you look at the weather report, you know if it's going to rain later today, so you take an umbrella. It may not change whether or not you go out, but it is going to change what you take with you. And that's kind of the way I look at it with astrology. Like, okay, people might be a little antsy today, or traffic might be a little slow, that kind of thing. So I think it's just like another piece of information, and I mean, if you can have that information, why wouldn't you use it, So that's the way I kind of look at it with astrology. The next question was about chants and songs. I really like, as far as chants go, I'm usually just make like a one-word phrase and repeat it. Like make a power phrase for what I want, and then kind of like an affirmation, and then I just sort of like repeat it in the spell, but then also use it as a written affirmation, or repeat it throughout the time where I'm trying to work towards whatever goal that it is. And I think that that has magic in and of itself. Music is like very powerful as far as it can lift your mood, it can make you sad, it can definitely change your energy, it can make you go from like kind of feeling slow to very energized. So I think songs can definitely, in music, be used in magic to kind of change the energies, or make a certain tone for the particular working that you're doing. So I've used music in the past in coven sort of rituals. We've used like meditative music if we're doing meditation. We've also used drumming as well, and recordings of drummings, especially if we're doing like a shamanic journey or like a guided meditation. I think that those are all really good, but I think you can use any kind of music. I mean, you can use dance music if you're looking to get all, like happy and upbeat. I find, hard rock and metal obviously to be very energizing, and use that as well. So you can be creative, like use whatever music works for you as far as, lifting your energy or calming you, whatever it is that you're looking to do in your particular ritual. The next question was about healing modalities and techniques. I did take a theta healing course, so I am a licensed like theta healing practitioner, which is hard to explain. Theta healing, I want to say in some ways, like for most people that don't know, I say, oh, well, it's kind of like Reiki. But it's energy healing, and instead of using symbols and things like you do in Reiki, it's more going up and asking Creator to bring down energy to help clear people of issues, and also to bring energy to them, healing energy as well. Now, I don't really use it too much. I find most of my practice, especially professionally, is more tarot and astrology, but I do think it's useful to know, and I do find it interesting. It's kind of the whole idea. It takes further kind of the Louise L. Hay sort of thoughts about your thoughts affects things as far as your health. Now, I'm not totally 100%. I think that if you have an illness, definitely go to the doctor, and I don't think that, necessarily everything is caused by your thoughts, but I think that they can contribute. And I think that if you, it can't hurt if you are looking at, you know, if you're dealing with a health issue of some kind, to be more positive, or to, you know, look at some of the issues that are going on in your life. It certainly doesn't help to look at them and examine them. So I'm, you know, I'm not like, oh, you know, professionally practicing this, or it's something I more use for me in the day-to-day rather than putting it out there as a service. But it is kind of interesting to learn about these things, that's for sure. So those are the questions for the YouTube Pagan Challenge. Let me know, do you use songs and chants? Do you follow astrology for your workings? Do you have a healing modality? I am kind of interested in doing Reiki. I think that would be a really interesting one to do, even just for my own self-knowledge. You know, maybe you know, obviously, or you might know more than I do. So put in the comments below. I'm always curious what people say. Like and subscribe.